You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
I don't even know what that was.
It's Plants vs. Zombies, Crazy Dave talking.
Play it again? Oh, it's like... Damn, Crazy Dave the throat goat, I hear.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he always sucked down those zombies like crazy.
Yeah. And I never played that game. I never had any interest in playing it.
I played it on Xbox and my iPod.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't have any interest
simultaneously.
In that. I tried Clash of Clans.
You tried playing with your cock?
I've tried playing with my cock. No luck.
Yeah.
I never tried playing Doodle Jump.
Really?
Yeah, I never.
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. I did play.
I never played Angry Birds.
There was a kid.
I tried a couple times. I tried the Star Wars one.
I loved it. There was a kid on my bus who I didn't know.
Do you still not know who he is?
No, I know who he is now.
Oh, okay.
And we know their sibling, and went to school with them. And he rode my bus, and I was just a loner.
Yeah.
And he would always sit next to me.
Yep.
And then he saw me playing it, and then he would just watch me the whole time, every single day.
You had your head up against the bus
more or
seat,
less,
and then just playing it.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
And it was weird.
I listened to a lot of music on the bus.
I did too. I did it while I was playing Angry Birds, but then he would sit next to me, and it's like, well, I can't
listen to music.
Can't listen to Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites while
I listened to Black Keys all the time. That was all I did.
I would listen to a lot. I was a dubstep guy, dude. I was going to raves and shit in 8th grade.
There was some kid on our bus that would listen to dubstep music, but out loud, and he would hold it against his ear.
Oh, I knew somebody like that.
And I was like, me and my siblings were always like, is that all right?
You had to do it?
You really?
Is that like a
can
thing?
There's
a guy who works at Walmart that does that.
What is that supposed to mean?
That's not even a joke.
Do you go to that Walmart all the time? And
I do. It's just cheaper.
Yeah.
But I go there at 9 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah,
because nobody's there.
Yeah.
But he's there.
And he knows it. He knows nobody's there either.
He knows me. There's also every single time I go, sorry, we're just getting in already.
Yeah.
Every single time I go to this Walmart on a Sunday at 9 p.m., there's always a all blacked out Charger that pulls up going the wrong way and then backs into a spot, and he just sits there, and it's the same spot, and he just sits in his car, and I'm like, is he here for me?
Yeah, maybe you got maybe you have an FBI agent on your tail, brother.
Weird. It's very weird. I didn't see him this last time, but I also went a little earlier too, so
maybe you got to start popping out.
I gotta
knock
get
on his window.
Excuse me.
You're in my spot.
This is my
Welcome to the Welcome to the It Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 168. We're recording this on Thursday, probably the latest we've ever recorded, I think.
Good morning, Gavin.
No, we recorded on a Friday once.
What, we did?
Yeah.
What did that? What was that?
When I moved into my apartment.
Oh, real? Okay, yeah.
It was another nightmare week, similar to this week.
Yeah.
Nightmare in the sense of just being real busy. Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Last night I had a nightmare.
Hey, Mom, I had a nightmare.
Mom, I had a nightmare. So yeah, we're literally recording this, and then I'm editing it, and then you'll see it. This is the quickest turnaround we've ever had.
How about that?
And we're going to be very topical because we have breaking news.
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
We do. This is one of these is brand new.
Okay.
So we're recording this on Thursday, May 23rd.
March 3rd.
And happy Tim Robinson Day. It's his birthday today.
It is his birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday, my good friend, Tim Robinson.
Future good friend. Who knows?
Hey, maybe. That'd be cool. We know someone who knows him.
Yeah,
well, I guess we know multiple people.
We're like Kevin Bacon. He's like the 7 layers of Kevin Bacon.
We're 7 layers of dip.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon.
Close to a lot of comedians.
Yeah. And then you'll be hearing this tomorrow, May 24th.
Yeah. Or a little secret. These episodes come out Thursday night. Usually. Sometimes they don't. This one, we'll see.
This one, we'll get there.
Well, we're
Carson-
gonna get there.
Carson, what we got in the docket today?
I'm so glad you asked. Well, first of all, we have some recaps of our weeks and
Yep.
things that have happened that are pretty exciting. Probably the most exciting thing we'll talk about.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Gavin has a story that I'm excited to hear.
Yeah.
And Gavin doesn't even know that there's a crazy thing that happened at this concert I haven't even alluded to.
Okay,
yet.
yeah, no.
So we both have crazy shit to talk about. And then Gavin's going to educate on, this is the breaking news you were talking about?
Yeah, this is the breaking news. That's breaking news. Swear to God. That happened yesterday at
our
9 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah, brand new.
it's not really breaking news yesterday. It's a day old.
If we
We're
were
gonna talk
recorded
about,
yesterday, it would have
the-
been broke.
It would have been. We were supposed to. We're going to talk about the river. Gavin's going to educate us on our favorite news source.
Yeah.
Maybe
Gone.
going away, sadly, just in time for me to get out of here. A big taste test this week, one we're really excited for.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The Doritos Baja Fiery
the
Mango. Baja.
I live in Baja Soda.
Baja. So this is one that I've been looking for probably a month now, and we finally got it. I finally found it at a local grocer. And
It looks like it says collect cows on the back.
It's collect cows. It's one it's one that people have been trying for the past month, and I, for whatever reason, took forever to get out here. And I've heard it is from everybody that it is disgusting.
I mean, the packaging. It has what? Pineapples
Yeah,
and
mangoes.
mangoes.
I don't know. Doesn't it?
It looks
yeah,
like
I guess it.
it
Oh, it's a
kinda-
mango. It's a
mango.
mango.
It's got mango and peppers and I guess that kind of looks like an apple, but maybe that's just an unpeeled mango. I guess I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
but
I
yeah,
guess it's supposed
it's
to be a
got
mango.
volcano and stuff. It's pretty cool,
But it's for the 20th anniversary of Baja Blast.
Baja.
So it's also gonna taste like Baja Blast,
God damn it.
which is why I'm drinking a zero sugar Baja Blast.
That's good.
Sure, which aren't bad. It's not as good as if you want to get a good Baja Blast, you got to get it from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
But I have that out to compare it to see if there's
Yeah.
any sort of similarity.
Well, I'm drinking the coconut water,
Where
the Dr. Pepper coconut sunscreen.
are the two past taste tests we've done, I still have and haven't gotten through. It's that
I'll get through it.
it's that and the ghost pepper Cheetos.
Oh Jesus,
They're so good, but it's I
They're
can only
hot.
eat 3, and then
Yeah.
I'm done.
my heart breaks.
My heart breaks.
My heart breaks for this.
And then also talking about the Harrison Buttlicker commencement speech. The
Topical.
year of commencement speeches, I swear to God, I've never talked or heard more about graduation speeches until this year.
Well, even Joe Biden did one.
Did he really?
Yes. I don't know where it was, but
I don't know. I didn't hear anything
yeah,
about that.
it was odd.
Nothing weird happened. He didn't take ashwagandha and go.
No, he did talk about the Israel-Gaza war for some reason.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
just because he could, I guess.
He's very well educated on that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Gavin's got a techno world that I'm even going to jump in on because
He's got a personal experience from this.
I have a personal vendetta against it. And then what you listening to? We're going to try and keep this one to about an hour. Just
So
a
far, so
little
good.
short, quick ep because we got to.
Well,
I got
you got
I
it. I don't have shit.
Just real quick, if you don't mind me just recapping my week and maybe jumping
Yeah,
into the
we'll
concert,
go.
if that's cool.
Yeah, we'll do you and then we'll do me.
That sounds good. I think that sounds like a really good plan.
To lay it out for you.
To lay it out, let's lay it on thick. It's been a wild week because Office Hours, a show I work for, as you guys already know, don't need to dive into that. We weren't live this week because Doug is in London, Tim is in New York, and so we were like, they were like, oh, we should do just an unplugged ep, as they were calling it, just over Zoom, and then they asked producer Matt asked if I could edit it. And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do it. And I'm glad I did, but it took a very long time because I'm cutting the camera angles and doing all that. So literally been nonstop doing that since Monday. And yesterday I worked from about probably 11 a.m. I was sitting in that chair from literally almost no joke, from 11 a.m. to about fucking 2 a.m.
That's fun.
to only get up to piss and make food.
Yeah.
That's otherwise I was in that chair. And not only just doing that, I also have other work to do on top of it, which also got added on more than I was expecting, which is nobody's fault. It's literally just like, this is the shit you deal with when you work multiple gigs. It's like, you just have to, like, some weeks are going to really fucking suck. and it's nobody's fault.
You're
Like,
gonna have to prioritize it, and you know.
I'm stoked to be doing it all, and I don't want it to come off as complaining, because I know people would.
You're like the
kill
biggest
for-
complainer. You're like the biggest self-loathing asshole I've ever met.
Yeah, well, people would kill for the shit I do. So I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining, because I'm not at all. I'm stoked to be doing it. It's just like,
It's a lot.
it was a lot.
It's a lot. I get it.
This week it really got to me.
Yeah.
Last night I was like, I just gotta like take a breath for a second.
Yep.
So we were supposed to record last night, and last second I was like, I texted Gavin, and I like frantic because I'm like in the middle of doing stuff.
Well,
I
I
was
could
like,
tell like it was. I could tell you
Yeah.
were off because you weren't punctuating.
yeah, I was like,
There was not even like.
I don't have
there
time
was
for
a-
punctuation.
Yeah, exactly. No joke. It was literally
That's what
like
it
I'm not
felt
even
like.
swapping keyboards. I'm just.
Yeah, I was on my computer, and I was like, I got an email from one of my other jobs, which eventually I'll talk about sometime soon, asking if I could do something. And then I was like, split second decision. I was like, I got to text Gavin. We're not recording today.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was like, I just
totally
can't.
chill.
I can't. And we didn't record Tuesday, which we normally do, because I went to a concert for a little band called Knocked Loose, motherfucker.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what it
going to
says.
tell people it says no love, my friend.
That's good.
You got to no love, my friend.
You got no love.
You got
man.
no love.
Or no love, motherfucker.
No love. Yeah, try not to curse, but then just make it about cursing. I'm more embarrassed to tell people the band,
Yeah.
not the
Really?
motherfucker
Wow,
part.
wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually.
Not
I'll
really.
tell anybody anything. It was funny because I when I bought this hat, I came back, and this guy who I kind of made friends with, well, I was like, oh, that's a cool hat. And he's like, I think he said he's 53. But he seemed like a cool guy. But he
At
was
the
like,
concert?
yeah, he was like, oh, is that he asked if it was like new merch, and I was like, yeah, I just bought it. And I was like, yeah. He's like, what does it mean? And I was like, oh, it's knocked loose, motherfucker. And he was like, oh, I think it like surprised him that I said that.
It's interesting that you say that you like talked to a older guy at a concert, because that happened whenever I went to the Royal Blood show.
you met an old guy.
I met an old guy who just like was from Central Illinois and just drove there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
By himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet your guy wasn't as cool as mine.
No, probably not. But he had a good history.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that was
it's
like, yeah.
it was just like one of those like, I'm here, you're here, we both like this band. That's
Right.
cool.
Well, that's the people that are going to talk to you. Like the kids these days, they just want to be on their iPads all day watching Baby Shark and
That circus.
Cotton-Eyed Chicken Joe or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
That's
That's all they do all day. That's what these kids. Everybody at the Knocked Loose concert, as soon as a band was done, boom, Chicken-Eyed Joe, Eminem.
Wait,
remix
really?
video.
Really?
No.
Really? Oh.
But
No.
like you know, we just like. I mean, I'm a huge victim of not socializing.
Yeah.
When I go out, I go. Why do you think I go to concerts by myself? It's because I don't know. I ask. I have friends who go with me on occasion, but sometimes it's just last second. And usually I end up talking to at least one person.
Yeah.
Sometimes a person who I would rather not talk to happens, like drunk people
Yeah.
saying stuff to me that I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you're
I
saying.
can't hear you. I'm deaf.
Yeah, exactly. I'm deaf.
I
can't
totally
even hear the
forgot. I
band.
didn't even think about it. Were you wearing earplugs?
No, but that was the weird thing. So let's just get into it. I sat in the balcony at the pageant in St. Louis. If you don't know that, it's like
Really cool venue.
the most well-known venue in St. Louis, I think.
Yeah.
For music.
Historically.
And that was where we got to see Tim over the summer. Got to go backstage, which is
That's where I saw Royal Blood.
yeah, where you saw Royal Blood. It's funny to like
Team Spoon there.
to see Tim and then see Knocked Loose there, and it's like completely
The
different.
contrast.
And it's always funny to think about that. But yeah, sat in the balcony, and yeah, to jump to that part, when I left, I was like, oh, I can actually like hear pretty well. But I think it was because it was either because I sat in the balcony, or it was because my ears are already too far gone, and I just like didn't really get affected. But yeah, my ears weren't too bad.
I don't think they have speakers up there. I think it's kind of like.
Yeah, I think that
helps.
has to be, because anytime I go to Red Flag, which is another smaller, more intimate venue here,
Mm-hmm.
I like can't hear for like an hour afterwards.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like no matter where, it's such a small, weirdly shaped venue that like you're fucked either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was Knocked Loose as the headliner, and the first opening band, we'll just go through it. I'm going to try not to take too much time on it, but some of it I will. The opener was this band Speed, and I showed up like literally right as they were taking the stage. So it was like perfect timing. And I was talking to Gavin about it, but I didn't know Speed. Like I was saying, this is almost the perfect lineup. Besides, I don't know Speed that well. And I've listened to them, and it's not my kind of hardcore. It's like a little bit too like what I would say kind of classic, more like punky than like a metal, like more metally like Knocked Loose is. So, but I was excited to see them because I have heard good things about them. And I pretty quickly realized that it's like, to me, it seems like Speed is like your favorite hardcore band's favorite hardcore band.
Yeah.
Like, they love, like almost at least a member from each band was like on the side stage watching them and like fucking eating it up.
Geeking
Like
up,
they
yeah.
loved it. And that was how I felt. Like I was like,
Have they been around for a long time?
no, like a couple years maybe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess all of these bands have been around for, I would say at least 10 years. Maybe Loathe hasn't been around for 10, but yeah, Speed probably, maybe even like 5 years or so.
Wow. All right.
But like the energy they brought was perfect. Like they're like the perfect opening band. Like they didn't give a shit. They were like they were the most energetic band that night for sure. Like by far, just like as a stage presence and like
Moving
to get
around.
and to get the crowd going that early is like super hard. And it's like,
Because
they
everybody's
did it
kind of
with
like,
no problem.
like everybody at concerts now is so like abrasive the idea of like, I gotta relax, just kind of
right.
Like,
One, like a lot of them, I'll hear them being like, wanting to save their moshing for,
The big
Knocked
ones.
Loose
Yeah.
or something like that. But like, no, man, people were moving. People were super excited. They were loving it, whether they had known Speed before or not. Like they were great.
Yeah.
They were fucking awesome. A lot of fun to see. I felt like I was going to say one more thing and now I can't remember. But yeah, so they played first and that was cool. I really enjoyed that. They were like, if I see them, I would love to see them live again just because they were so much fun. And then up next was Show Me the Body, who I love. They had my favorite album 2 years ago of the year. You can watch that episode and hear me talk about it. Been a fan of them for a little while. Really wanted to see them live because like if you watch, literally just look up Show Me the Body live, watch one of their concerts. They're like nuts. Like nuts. And it's only 3 dudes. A drummer, a bass player who also has like
guitar pedals.
Guitar pedals and a small like MIDI deck, and then a bunch of like weird noise makers, and then a lead vocalist who plays the banjo.
I did see someone post about that as well.
And so as soon as they came out, they opened with like a song that's like really, that builds up really slowly, and it started with the lights off, and then like the only lighting effect they had was the lights were off at the beginning, and then they came on, and then it was just like direct overhead, like harsh lighting, which I think they do at every show. I think it's like a thing that they specifically do. But like as soon as they came out and did that, I could tell that like 75% of the people there did not know them, which doesn't surprise me. They're not a huge band, but I think they get a lot of respect and a lot of love. I love them. I fucking love them.
Anytime you mention any hardcore bands, I always see someone like mention them eventually.
Yeah, they're great. And it's like on the border of like hardcore and hip hop. Like it really borders that line in like a really cool way. And I think they're just super musically talented. But they came out and the crowd was like very confused with it at first, because they were like they were like going from Speed to that band. The crowd was like, "Oh, what's happening?" Like very
what
confused.
Is this?
And about like halfway through their set, the crowd was like loving it.
Yeah.
But it was funny. And I realized that, how I realized that 75% of them didn't know the band is that when they came out, it was just like this opening song is just him on vocals. He didn't have the banjo on yet. It was like laying on the ground behind him. So he performed that song and then like finished the song, went over and picked up the banjo and put it on, and then the crowd like lost their mind. They were like, "What the fuck? Why does he have a banjo?"
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, "Okay, that's pretty cool. Like, that's cool that they're like, they got into that." But I was like, "These motherfuckers don't even know."
No. Yeah.
Because it's like, I listened to them for probably like a year or more before I realized that he's been playing the banjo.
Yeah.
On like every single song. I thought it was just like a guitar. I thought it was just like a guitar with a weird
Whenever
effect.
I listened to them, I was like, oh, that's definitely a banjo.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know.
Like, oh my. Oh, like that is weird. That's odd. It's an odd flavor. Like it's just
it works.
No, it's odd how well it works.
So
it's really good. And he plays it really well.
Oh my God,
like,
yeah.
It's not like just like a not like a bluegrass type of like
No,
vibe
not
with
at
it.
all.
Not at all. It's just like
It's very
guitar.
slow and strummy.
Yeah.
Versus like a finger picking.
very much. Yes.
He's just using a straight up pick, not the like.
Yeah, the like
I forget what they're
finger.
called.
I think it's actually just called finger picks.
pick. Yeah. So that was fun to see, and then like I said, like they were definitely not as energetic as I've seen in their live shows online, just because I think it was like a crowd thing. They could,
They feed off the crowd.
Yeah, they feed off the crowd and vice versa. But like I said, towards the end, then it got crazy. Yeah, it was just, they were fucking awesome. Towards the end, the singer ran, like, and there's a barricade, pretty big barricade with a pretty big gap. Without like giving any sort of heads up, he just ran and jumped into the crowd, like fully sprinted and jumped into the crowd. And people love that. They lost their minds about that. And fucking hell, they're just so good. And it was amazing seeing them live, and I want to see them live again. They're so fucking cool. And then after that, Loathe came on, who I had seen open up. I had seen half of their set opening for Under Oath.
Okay.
Whenever I left my grandpa's funeral to go see this concert, and I missed half of their set. So I was excited to see a full 30-minute set of theirs since I had missed it.
I forgot about that.
God damn it. And so I was super stoked for them. I love Loathe. They're another one I've been into for a while. Like I said, this is almost like a perfect lineup for me. And the crowd really liked them too. I was surprised how many people like seemed to be there for Loathe. I didn't realize. I mean, I talked to somebody recently who was like, "Oh yeah, they're like huge. They're like a big deal now." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know. Like, that's awesome."
You're like the hipster of hardcore.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like music. But they came out. They were awesome. But about halfway into their set, in the middle of a song, I looked down because I'm in the balcony watching, just like mostly
stage,
even watching
yeah.
the crowd, because I just love. I have no interest in being in a mosh pit, but I mean I kind of do, but not really. But I love
Yeah, I was
watching
surprised
it.
that you came back with no bruises.
I tried.
Watching the crowd.
But I love watching the crowd. I love watching the mosh pit. And like I didn't even mention this yet. Like this, I don't think they sold the venue out, but if they didn't, they were really close to it, because it was packed. Like even when I got there for Speed, it was packed, which was awesome. That was definitely like the biggest crowd-wise hardcore show I've been to. When I saw Knocked Loose the last time, they sold out Red Flag, and that was packed. But this was way different.
Yeah.
So it was packed. I was watching the mosh pits, and then all of a sudden I looked towards the security guards in the front, because there was people like midway through the pit, pretty much like in the center of the pit, that were like flashing their lights at the security guards, which is like, hey, some shit's going on.
Yeah.
And so I see them take notice, and then they go to the band, and they do that, telling them to stop. And so Loathe stops in the middle of a song, and like nobody said anything. And me and this other guy, like everybody like stood up in the balcony to be like, what is going on? Like, what's happening? And the guy next to me apparently saw it, and he was like, oh, that guy's out cold. Like he's out. And I was like, I'm like looking, I can't see anything, but he just kept reiterating, he's out. He's out. And like 5 minutes go by, and I'm still not sure what's going on. There's still like the EMT people have come down to like check this person out, and they're still down there. And I'm like looking at people's faces to see how worried they are. Cause I'm like, did somebody like die? Did somebody like just straight up like die?
Yeah.
Because like it just like
Very quickly
went on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like it just like,
Took way too long.
yeah, it was taking a really long time. And like,
You're like, just wake up, man.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, we got to get to the show.
Yeah. I'm here for the show, not for you.
Exactly. Making it about yourself.
Yeah.
But like I said, nobody seemed like super worried. So I was like, okay, I'm like,
He probably just got hit like in his temple or
yeah,
something.
I was just like, But it
Or his
again,
jaw.
like another 5 minutes went by, and they're still checking him out. And like more people are coming over to like look at him and
can't
talk
just,
to
like,
him.
get him
And
out
I
of
was
it.
like, fuck. I'm like, are we gonna have to leave? Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
shit. I'm like, this might be something real serious. But thankfully, like after I would say probably about 10 minutes, they got him up into a wheelchair, and he was like visibly like spinning.
Yeah.
And he was like doing a lot of this, and like I was like, oh shit. So he just got like really knocked unconscious.
Someone say knocked loose.
He got a screw loose. And so I'm glad
Yeah,
he
glad
was
he's okay.
okay as far as I could tell.
Conscious.
They took him out, and then they resumed the show. But it was like, that's the first time. I mean, I know that happens at hardcore shows probably more often than I know, but like that was the first time they've ever had to stop a show that I've been at to like tend to somebody.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they did too. Like everybody, it's weird. Like people, I mean, this is such a thing that people have been saying for a long time, but like people look at hardcore shows or metal shows and be like, that's so rowdy. How can those people do that? But it's like the people in the pit are also looking after each other while like punching each other in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's very much like a communal thing.
Yeah.
As like violent as it looks.
Yeah.
Most people look out for each other. There are people who are assholes and are literally just there to
break shit.
So whatever, that ended up being fine. Loath was great. Then Knocked Loose came out, and as I mentioned last week, I was like not super
stoked with their new stuff.
Not super stoked with their new stuff, but I was like super excited to see them live, and I will always see them live anytime they're near me.
Doesn't matter.
Like, dude, they're amazing live, but just the crowd there is awesome, and just it's a fun experience to be in.
Yeah.
And they killed it. They were amazing. All the new songs they played sounded great live.
Just as you said.
Just as I said, yeah, exactly. But they definitely are starting to feel more like a band that I love live more than I do.
Yeah. Which I think is totally
them.
fine.
Yeah, and still like they're not their older stuff, but like that Different Shade of Blue era was like the best played even live. But it was great. It was a super fun show. Definitely like the craziest mosh pit I've ever seen. So I think I talked about this last time, and I'll wrap this up. But they do a thing at every single show where their guitar player Isaac, who I've mentioned quite a few times, will say into the mic, he's like, everybody, no matter where you are, I want you to shove the person next to you in this next thing. And every single time, nobody really like does it where I am because I don't go near the rowdy people. And besides the one time when they sold out Red Flag and the guy like in front of me like
push you. Yeah.
He didn't shove me. Thankfully, I'm glad I stood where I did, but he like shoved the people in front of him, and they were pissed about that. But I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And like when he did that, everybody, including like the outer bowl area, like where the pit wasn't even at, where people weren't even getting that rowdy, were like shoving. It was like it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Just everybody, like as far as I could see down below, was like shoving each other and fucking going crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's nuts. I've never seen that before. So it was just like, dude, it was insane. It was the craziest pit I've ever seen at a show, and it was just fucking awesome. And there were so many, I made a note of this, there were so many what I said as muscle boys.
Yeah.
They were just like these like buff ass dudes in the pit.
Yeah.
Like multiple of them. And I was like, I kept wondering, I'm like, do they like this music, or are they here to like just be in the pit? I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah. So
yeah.
Fucking awesome. Yeah. It was just fucking crazy. It was amazing. And I was telling Gavin I gotta get him and his brother to go to one. Because but even if you don't like the music, you got to experience it. It's just something else. But yeah, I would say, real quick, and then I'm done. The guy who I sat next to, who was like in his 50s, we were talking about shows. He's like, I've been going to shows since like the 70s, yada, yada. And I was like, what's your favorite show you've ever been to? And then he asked me that, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm still so young to really like
one.
Yeah, because I was like, I feel like I'm still so young to like know what my favorite show is. Like, I don't know if I've been to my favorite show, but this one definitely it's up there.
Yeah.
If not my favorite as of right now. But yeah, fucking awesome. Yeah. But what about you, man? What have you have a crazy story to tell
Yeah,
us?
so,
I'm excited. I'm gonna go start the camera again.
So, well, I guess to answer your question, what my favorite concert
What's
I've
your
been
favorite
to?
concert?
I would say it's probably the Spoon show I went to. I was super close to the stage at the pageant and at the tables down there, like the second row, kind of like second proscenium, I suppose. I don't know what it's called, like the second apron, where all the you could sit down. It was a sit down concert very much so, and not that I felt like I was one of the younger fans there. I mean, of course there was kids there, but like because it was like older millennials. But like I was there, and that was like it was a lot of fun just because of how close I was and all the songs I knew, and they were playing like some hard deep cuts.
Oh, that's cool.
It was just like stuff I hadn't even heard Spoon play before, and I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this week started my rotations. Took care of some of my friends' mom's animals, and went to a Cardinals game Friday. Sat in the bleachers with my friend Bear. She came into town for a few days.
And that was your first time in the bleachers.
First time in the bleachers, and not gonna lie, I really very much prefer sitting on the other side of the home
Why is
plate.
that?
I really enjoy looking at the big board was right behind me. And I love looking at that. Like
get that.
It's got all the stats. It's got everything I could ever ask anyone about.
Yeah.
Oh, what team did you play on previously? Oh, he used to play for the Orioles, you know. Yeah, and I was literally like looking up and I'm like, who's up next? And I literally had like stand up and like look behind me. It was like,
well, you have to suck it up in 2 weeks.
yeah, well there was like, yeah, I do. There was like one small board across that you could see directly across from us that like had it. And the sun was in our eyes. We got a really cool hat, so I was able to put a hat over my hat, so I had a really long brim. But behind us were probably some of the loudest frat boys I've ever heard in my life.
God.
I like literally me and Bear were talking, and like every time we would say something to each other, we'd be like, "What?" Because they would just be talking so loud, and they were not like they weren't PC with it either. Like they were just being like really rude and like just kind of being like this one guy was like, he like I guess he vaped, and then like the security guard came down, and he's like, "Hey, you can't do that here." And then he's like, dude, no, totally forgot. I had that in my pocket. I just pulled it out and I ripped it. Totally forgot about that rule. And he's like, you can smoke anywhere but here.
Yeah.
Like smoke out in the, you know.
Yeah, the smoking section.
Yeah. And he's like, dude, so sorry, man. And then they're like, oh, dude, I went to Phoenix like 5 or 6 times in the last few years. Like, it was literally like, oh, dude, you use Open Table? Dude, yeah, I use it. It's like a reservation tool for like restaurants. Oh, it's like, oh, you use Open Table?
Because they work at restaurants.
Yeah. And like they were like either managers or something like,
yeah.
dude, yeah, I work at a restaurant where we use Open Table too.
When I was working at Casa Vallarta, that's what we use all the time.
No, exactly.
That was our go-to.
Yeah, it was and they were even saying like for sure. No, and they were saying it like unironically, like they were like unironically saying it, not like like we say it kind of ironically, like oh yeah, no, for sure. But they were saying it like that, like no joking.
Did you hear anything about Zins at all at any point?
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I had Zins. Allegedly, one of them.
Did you ever bingo card out your frat boy bingo
honestly,
card?
I would have gotten bingo probably 8 or 9 times over. It was ridiculous.
For sure.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, for sure.
And they were like, yeah, dude, my girlfriend's being a bitch right now. Like, and they also were like, they're like, oh, dude, like, where's Corey? Corey's been gone all night. He said he'd come in the 6th inning, and where is he? Like, they were literally like these serious, and they're like, oh, but, you know how he is. Like, he just drinks, and his girlfriend doesn't really like that, so he's hiding from her. And, you know, like it was literally like these, and they were loud too. They were loud. These people were in our fucking ears.
Were they loud? Were they talking loud, or were they also screaming at the game?
No, they were talking loud.
They were just talking.
They weren't
loud.
even like saying anything about the game.
That would drive me crazy.
And I was locked in. I gotten beer in like the 3rd inning, and there's if you look up the Boston Red Sox on Threads, when Rafi Devers hit a home run, that was like 3 rows behind me, and you can see me and Bear walking to our seats.
Oh, really?
And that's when right after that, I dipped my jersey into the cheese because they didn't give me. They handed me a pretzel and a cheese, and no like thing to put it in.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll figure it out when I get down
I'll put
there.
my jersey in it.
Yeah. So then I like stood up to get like a t-shirt, and I sat back down, or like another home run came, so I went to go see it, and then I sat back down, and my jersey was completely engulfed in the cheese. And so I like pulled it up, and then like it just kept getting all over the jersey. Like it was multiplying. I felt like the fucking like symbiote from Spider-Man.
I thought shit only happened like that to me because I do that.
I'm like, what
all
the
time.
fuck? I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck. So I like immediately went to go, and then Bear told me this trick that was like just use Dawn dish soap and just like actually like scrub it in.
Yeah.
And that worked.
Which jersey was it?
It was my signed Jim
Signed
Evans
one?
jersey.
Yeah.
Signed Jim
That's
Evans
what I-
jersey. I'm
that's
like,
what I
fuck.
figured.
So
Can't wear that
I was
one
like,
anymore.
I was like, I can't. No, I can wear it. I
Yeah,
I
you
cleaned
scrubbed it.
Yeah.
I
I did like the old fashioned like old maid shit.
Did you have a wenches outfit?
Yeah.
on?
I was like, oh,
Oh, I gotta go. Milk
I
the
gotta go
cows
hang this
after
up after this.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, for sure. Like,
frat boy husband, wench wife.
dude, what the hell? Why'd you dip your shirt in cheese,
What
dude?
the
Where
fuck?
are you gonna eat your cheese? Are
Did
you
you
ever gonna eat your shirt, dude?
Are you gonna fucking milk the cows? Me and Donnie are trying to go out soon. You got the wagon all loaded up with my stuff? We're trying to fucking go, dude.
We're hitting the Oregon Trail by Tuesday, man.
We gotta hit the trail. We got 7 days to get 30 miles away. That's funny.
So,
So that happened.
yeah. So that happened.
I was just gonna say, speaking of shit like that, I was disc golfing, surprise, surprise, and at some point my shaker bottle of Gatorade had opened up and it spilled all over my bag and my back, so I had to play with Gatorade shirt on.
Sticky, a little
It
sticky,
was a little sticky. My hand was a little sticky, but
a little sticky.
yeah, I'm prone to things like that
I
happening
was like,
without even trying. It's the worst.
And I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't like spill my beer on it. I guess I was like, I don't know. So I just
Yeah.
like, I had less care in the world after that. I was like throwing popcorn at myself and shit. I was like, whatever.
Throwing cheese all over
Yeah,
myself.
I was like,
Telling the frat guys to put cheese
yeah,
on
like,
me.
dude, you gotta hit me. You want some cheese, man? Dip your vape in this shit. This shit.
Yeah,
tastes
you
so
want
good.
some cheese? You're lifting up
Yeah,
your jersey.
yeah.
You want some cheese?
Or you want to eat this, man? Yeah. So then, so I'm driving to my rotation site on Tuesday morning, from my apartment in St. Louis, and I'm going down Kings Highway, and that's not really geolocating myself, but there's a Del Mar Kings Highway stoplight right by an Aldi, and there's a stoplight past the Kings Highway Del Mar one. The first one after that, it's right across the street from like a Dollar Tree or Family General or something like that, whatever. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like the first person at the stoplight. It's completely red, like a hard red. And it's definitely red both ways. So all of a sudden, this white Chevy Spark comes flying across the intersection and slams into the traffic control box. Just slam, like no brakes, just fucking full blast into the traffic control box that is like a cement brick with a bunch of like metal over it.
Like in the middle of an intersection,
Yeah,
like
and
separating an intersection, or is that like, or separating
Like in a
not
corner.
like
Like at a corner, there's like a box that usually controls all the stoplights.
yes, yeah.
So they smashed directly into that. And the guy, none of the airbags went off, nothing happened. Maybe the front windshield
Small
cracked.
car,
It was a
too.
small car. So I was like halfway expecting like a huge explosion to sound.
Yeah.
But nothing happened after that. And this guy like is obviously like he got like obvious whiplash. Like he like flung forward. And then all of a sudden like I see movement in the back seat. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then this lady comes out of the back, this like, 30-something-year-old lady comes out of the back seat and just runs away. Just like grabs her stuff, like grabs her purse and her jersey, like her, her shirt. She's wearing like blue scrubs. So I figured he was maybe dropping her off at work or something.
What the fuck?
And she just like slowly jogs away, like fast walking away from the car. And the guy in the car is like shaking back and forth, and like he's just like frustrated about something. And I was like, what the? I thought I was in fucking GTA random event,
Yeah.
like a Fallout fucking random event. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I drive to the next stoplight, and I'm like looking in my rear view. I'm like, I don't see him. The car just like disappeared.
What the fuck? Did he look okay?
Yeah,
Besides
it looked
whiplash?
fine. Yeah, he was like wearing like a button down or
So
something
it's
like
just
that.
him and then a person in the back
Yeah.
seat.
Yeah. So fucking odd.
Why would?
And
why
like
would
no
they
cop.
in
It
the
wasn't like
back
it wasn't
seat?
like a
Yeah.
It wasn't like a cop. It wasn't anything like that. There was nobody chasing after him.
Right.
He just full
Lost
blast.
control or something.
I must have. And like he tried starting the car, and the car. This was the longest red light I think I probably could have sat at.
Yeah.
And of course it was. So I was like, and there was like a couple people in front of me. I guess I wasn't the first person, but there was a couple people in front of me. I'm like, I was kind of waiting, halfway expecting someone to get out of their car and like pull over and like be like, hey man, you okay?
Yeah.
But everybody's just like, well, gotta go to work.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. And
This is in the morning.
Yeah, this is like 8 a.m.
What the fuck? That's so weird.
I was like, wow.
What is happening?
Or that was yesterday. That was yesterday morning. I was
Yesterday
like, wow.
morning.
Yeah.
And no airbags.
No airbags deployed or anything.
Huh.
Yeah. No honk.
That's
It
weird.
wasn't like he laid on the horn or anything like that either. It was just like his windshield wipers
Just
went
happened.
off. Yeah. Like
That's
the car
weird.
bounced too. Like, that was what made it
Yeah,
worse. Like I was like,
yeah.
holy shit.
Damn.
Yeah. He must have been trying to make probably make a light and then just probably lost control.
I guess.
Knowing how people in St. Louis are, that's 100% what he was trying to
Yeah.
do. Make a light and then like someone in the backseat probably told him to brake and he didn't.
And then she ran away.
Yeah. Probably.
That's fucking
I figure it was
crazy.
maybe just like a driving crooner situation where, you know,
could've
someone
been.
was like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
And then
Then he's like, I can't let them know it's fake.
and then he just had to
And
get
then he
away.
just fucking got away. Yeah. So that happened.
That happened. That's
and
crazy.
yeah, my rotation side's awesome. It's very, very chill. And I'm enjoying my time there.
First one. First of many.
Yeah, really getting the hang of in like 3 days, really 4 days time. I'm really getting the hang of the system that they got going.
I
there.
think I got this down.
And I went to did a couple patient discharge counseling and
Nice.
whole 9 yards. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Nice. That's great, dude. Stoked to hear about it.
Yeah.
What
Did I
should
say
we-
anything else? Oh, and then the Cardinals revealed some new jerseys. Did you see those?
Oh yeah. Did
I-
you go the night? No, you didn't go the night of this.
I went the night before.
night before the
Yeah.
City Connect.
Yeah.
Why is that like a thing now?
But that's just
Why does it
that's just
matter?
Nike. That's just Nike. Like,
Just Nike's thing.
yeah, it's Nike's thing because they have a City Connect jersey for NBA teams.
Yeah.
It's like Minnesota had like their like water one. And then,
But did they
like,
make a big deal about it? Where they have like a big event?
Yeah, they did, yeah,
happening?
yeah.
Because
They
they
had,
had
like,
they had Metro Boomin.
Yeah, they had
perform free.
Young Gravy and Nas Reed on like Lake Minnetonka
All right, cool.
for the jersey reveal.
Okay.
And it's usually like a yearly thing in the
Yeah.
NBA at least.
Yeah.
Because they hire like different artists or whatever. Like Daniel
Yeah, which is
Arsham
cool.
did like the Cleveland one, and I
Yeah.
think they did a reveal day for that one. I think Cleveland Guardians just got a new one revealed and stuff like that. The Tampa Bay Rays have a really cool one. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's like a skateboarding ray. It's really cool.
I'll have to look at that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they have some really cool jerseys. It's got like highlighter colors. It's really cool. It's like cement in the back. I don't know. It's just cool. But yeah, the Cardinals finally have a red jersey in the rotation for the first time in probably about 10 years or something like that. It's been a long
really?
time
I
since they
didn't
have an
know that.
all red jersey. And it says the Lou on it. The
What
Lou.
do you think of it? And then I'll give
I
you my
like it.
opinion.
I personally like it. I think it's the safest option they could have went with. I
Yeah.
kind of wish it was. I kind of like wish they had incorporated the arch more like into the jersey because that's like way more like obviously what the city like
Yeah. that's what
identifies
we're known
with.
for. Yeah.
And I was halfway expecting like a blue jersey, just something kind of out of the crazy, just like or like honestly like the Mississippi and like the Saint and like the Missouri River kind of like have a confluence there, and
Yeah.
it's like the Big Muddy.
Give a brown jersey.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, just some crazy shit like that. And
Yeah.
they have like these really faint, darker red pinstripes down the middle or down the entire jersey. And like those are cool, but like I wish it was way more prominent. I wish it was like a completely different color. It should have been
They should have
red.
done a pinstripe jersey. That would have been cool.
It would have been red with a blue pinstripe jersey. I think that would with blue pinstripes.
Yeah.
I think that would have looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that would have been a little too classy. I thought it was. I don't know.
I wish it
think it's
didn't say the
fine.
Lou. I wish it had something else, and the hat is a little boring.
Yeah, it's just a little too like. Okay, this is like.
It's
not
it's
different
the
enough.
safest option.
Yeah. It's not.
It still has
needs
the
more
two
to
birds in the
it.
bat.
And we have great artists around here who could
Yeah.
do something really fucking cool.
I think the worst part is that they probably would have done a graffiti jersey, and they probably would have had a really cool because there's graffiti all over St. Louis.
Yeah, there is, but it's not. We're not super
We're like
well
known for
it.
for like those.
Yeah, and it's not like whereas like if it was Miami, that would make sense because there's like a specific art districts for graffiti and it's like well known there. But for here, it's like more looked at as a nuisance.
You're right, exactly.
Unfortunately, like I don't think we would take. Unfortunately, they wouldn't take pride in it
No,
enough as they should. But yeah, I just thought it was a little like,
boring.
it's kind of boring.
Yeah,
And even it's not even like a good boring.
yeah.
Like
it's
I
just
think
like
it's
the
just kind of like
bland.
okay, I don't know. It's just I don't know. Not.
I
different
don't mind
enough.
it. I like an all
Yeah.
red jersey. I'm glad they went all red because
Yeah, I agree.
I
with
realized that. I was thinking that at the game that I was at. I was like, there's some people with like these all red jerseys that were like obviously giveaways. So I was like,
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah, glad they glad they have those now to
Yeah.
add into the rotation, and they'll be able to wear their victory blues soon. They're like baby blue jerseys
Oh, yeah.
pretty soon because Fanatics finally has them and are able to ship them.
Jesus Christ.
So
Fucking fanatics.
Fucking fanatics.
Well, should we jump into this little taste test?
And we can skip some stuff. I don't
It doesn't matter. None of it really takes that long. Let's do it.
Let's be really
Doritos.
annoying about it. Let's be really annoying and start doing doing the stories while we're doing the taste test.
Yeah, so we're pretty much Doritos Baja fiery mango flavored with other natural flavors. That's literally what it says. You don't need to have flavor in the same sentence twice.
Who's the guy that we keep quoting with the Baja? It's a guy playing Jesse Ventura.
It is Will Sasso.
Yeah, Will
playing
Sasso.
Jesse Ventura.
Is like he was Curly in the Three Stooges movie.
You guys keep talking about that, and I was like, I have no recollection of
That
this
movie is really stupid.
We've been on our Stooges shit recently.
Jersey Shore's in that movie. The whole concept is that like Mo wants to get away from the Three Stooges
Really?
thing. Yes, and he like gets on Jersey Shore.
Okay, I thought you were. For some in my head, I thought you were doing a joke.
No.
Oopsie, like you messed up. I thought you were saying that the Jersey Shore show was in the Three Stooges movie. Wait, what do you mean?
It
like,
is.
Mike?
Yeah.
The situation is in the. Wait, what?
Snooki's in the movie,
I gotta look this up right now.
and like Mo is trying to get on there because it's like topical in 2013,
What?
I guess. Or whatever this movie.
I don't know anything about
that's
this.
very real.
2012?
Yes.
And Will Sasso?
Yeah, Will Sasso
Larry
plays Curly.
David?
Larry David plays a nun. He cross dresses in that.
What the fuck? I don't know anything about this.
Is that
Where are the-
Hank Green? That looks like Hank Green there.
No. Where are the Jersey Shore? Oh, okay. There's Snooki.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know anything about this. Is it just Snook? Oh, no, there's Mike. Weird. I gotta look at a picture. Dude, I don't remember this movie ever. I don't remember this movie at all. What the fuck? There's Larry David. I want to find with them with the Jersey Shore. Okay, so he wants to get in the Jersey Shore.
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Anyways, let's try it. First off, it smells pretty good. It smells like it's gonna be
Smells
good.
like Doritos.
It smells like Doritos.
It
smells like
Doritos.
a spicy, sweet chili
Yeah.
Doritos. I'm gonna wipe these all over my pants. All right, let's do it. Here we go.
Think it.
Baja. Oh no!
That tastes like candy. Oh, Jesus.
Oh no! That's terrible.
And it's
but
got
it smells
spicy.
so. Yeah, and it's fucking hot as hell.
What the hell?
Ugh.
I thought that was candy.
Yeah.
It tasted immediately like a candy.
You need one? Ugh. Yeah, it was like,
That's terrible.
oh, and it's way too spicy.
Jesus Christ. Did this go through like QC or anything like that? Jesus.
I think it makes sense just because of like it tastes a little sweeter than Mexican candy, but it does have that like Mexican candy kind of sweet spicy trade-off, which I'm not a personally big fan of. But I know people love it. I know people go nutso for that stuff. But like chili mango for me, I'm not into it.
This is bad.
Yeah, which sucks because it smells like it's gonna be really good. Oh, dude, that's terrible. That's actually horrible.
And it's like so spicy afterwards for
Yeah.
like no reason.
Dude, you dropped a little chip there. Excuse me.
I can't stop eating them because of how bad they are.
What's like I don't want to stop eating them because it's Doritos and it's MSG and it tastes good, but it tastes like I took a big bite out of a Dum Dum sucker covered in
like
hot sauce.
Yeah, and then like had like jalapenos with it.
Yeah, that's bad. I'm more likely to finish this than the
Yeah.
ghost pepper ones because it's not as spicy. It's still spicy, but that's not good. And there's no reason to put the Baja on it.
No,
It
I
doesn't
don't
ta-
taste
there's
anything
no-
like
it's
that.
just
No.
mango.
Yeah. Spicy mango. That's all that is.
Oh yeah, that's bad news, man.
Hey, can you get the guy moaning out of our ears, please?
You want them louder? Oh. Yeah, man. No thanks.
I'm good.
I won't. Yeah, those are as bad. Those are as bad as everybody says they would be.
Yeah.
Way too sweet.
Worth the price for sure, though.
For sure. Go buy them. Sponsored ad. Okay, Gavin, what is going on with the Riverfront Times?
So this is from St. Louis PR, the NPR.
Not from the Riverfront
Not from the Riverfront Times, surprisingly. This is from the NPR station in St. Louis.
Okay.
Riverfront Times sale and layoff of news staff signals end of 46-year era for St. Louis Alt Weekly. The Riverfront Times, St. Louis's alt weekly newspaper, is no more, at least in its current state. Big Lou Media has sold the paper to an undisclosed buyer. Sarah Fensky, the alt weekly's to an undisclosed buyer. Sarah Fensky, the alt weekly's former executive editor, said Wednesday, "It's devastating for St. Louis. We're breaking a lot of news, and that goes away as of today." Fensky said that her first indication of the sale came Tuesday night when Big Lou Media owner Chris Keating asked to have a meeting Wednesday morning. "I've been in journalism long enough to know that that's not good news," and my mouth is like salivating.
I know.
Because it's so spicy. She said, adding that the meeting revealed the entire writing and editing staff had been laid off. "While somebody has purchased the RFT, it's not going to be what the RFT was. My best guess that is just going to be one of those websites that is a shell of its former self. That's devastating for St. Louis journalism." They had sold Big Lou Holdings LLC, owned by St. Louis-based Chris Keating, purchased the RFT in 2023. The LLC bought the paper from Euclid Media Group, taking control of it, the Detroit Metro Times, the Cincinnati City Beat, and LEO Weekly in Louisville, Kentucky. Big Lou Holdings continues to own a few alt weeklies in other cities, as well as Sauce Magazine in St. Louis. So I guess if you want your fill of good writing, you could go to Sauce Weekly.
Yeah.
Or Sauce Magazine. Fensky said the company is looking to retain a couple of the laid-off staffers at those other outlets. The hope is that maybe there's an RFT employee or two who might be able to land with them, but the RFT is not retaining anyone. Keating worked with the industry, according to August Riverfront Times article about the purchase, as a newspaper publisher for 25 years, helping form the Euclid Media Group that later sold the paper to Big Lou Holdings. So basically it's just getting sold and they don't know what's going to happen to it, but everybody who was editing and writing is gone.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why we're talking about this, obviously we've mentioned many times in this episode we live in St. Louis, but this is what I would say is our favorite and probably the best news source in the city.
Yeah,
if you want,
they
especially
post
local news.
They post a lot of local news stories. They post a lot of things that like maybe don't get talked about.
Exactly.
Restaurants that don't get talked about go unnoticed.
They were the only place, and I'm sure there was other places talking about it, but they were the only place who was like accurately talking about the cop crashing into the gay bar incident.
And not only that,
and
but
just
also
in general.
and just like criticizing, general like just both sides of the aisle. Criticizing, politicians in St. Louis for either dodging the media, all that stuff. Even it was honestly shocking, but like News Channel 5 had to go in and like go in person to talk to like the Treasury office because the Treasury was ignoring their emails because people were getting randomly charged like $20 for parking that was like 3 months overdue.
Yeah.
But it's like that type of stuff that was just like that level of journalism doesn't really happen as much.
No.
And it's really good to support local news sources, especially ones like that.
And they were doing it in like a humorous way too.
Yeah, not only that, but they just they had a good feel, and they also had really good photojournalists too. They had really great photojournalists from like whenever the ash cloud was kind of over St. Louis that were like kind of taking those moody photos. They go to like a lot of events and take photos of those events, like the rap event. I know they took pictures of. They go to Soulard, take a lot of really good pictures there. They like for the Mardi Gras parade. I think they went for the Dogtown parade. They go to any big event in St. Louis 100%. I think there was even like a St. Louis block party downtown on Friday or Saturday morning or something like that. I would not doubt that they would have been at the Soulard ruckus. I forgot. Like they have the sale that was going on Saturday morning. And it was like it starts with an R. Yeah, rummage sale. Yeah. It was one of those.
Ruckus
so I figured
sale.
they probably would have went to that.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing is just like it sucks for a reason
That
of
does suck.
just being able to report on local news stuff.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens with them, but them laying off all their writers is
Not a good sign.
not a good start. Not a good sign at all. So that sucks. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
This is rapid fire news day. You guys have all seen this. Honestly, it's not even really worth watching the clip because everybody's talked about it. We'll listen to the Eddie Vedder talking about it because I haven't seen many people do that yet, but because he was kind of a little late to it. But I mean, you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Or do we need to watch it?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I've seen it.
But yeah, again, it's the year of bad commencement speeches. Apparently, for whatever reason, everybody just decided to come out and do something stupid and say something stupid. We had Bitcoin, and then we had, I guess Jerry. I don't know if Jerry said anything bad, but
There was a walkout during it.
there's a walkout during it. And then you have Kansas City Chiefs own Harrison Buttlicker, who up until now I would say I'm a fan of the Chiefs. I am a Chiefs fan,
Right.
because I adopted them once the Rams
Mahomie.
left.
Yeah.
No, not because of Mahomes.
Look a little Mahomie.
It was before I knew how good Mahomes was going to be. I didn't give a shit. I was like, I need a football team. Let me take this one. And it's like, oh, wait, they're good? That's cool, too.
Yeah.
But, Harrison Butker, I would say, is probably the best kicker
Really
in
good
the
kicker,
NFL.
Yeah.
Just so accurate, which, I mean, if it's your niche, you should be good at it.
Correct, yeah.
So
And if you
I'm not going to give him I know a lot of people are like, and even Vedder says something about like giving them shit for being a kicker. And it's like, I won't go that far because there's a skill to it, but it's like, that's your niche. You better be fucking the best at it.
And the thing is, or the main points that he was expressing was that it's not good to be, or like the general media for some reason, I guess, doesn't want people to be manly or masculine anymore, and that women need to be home builders and don't need to be seeking careers, but rather building a house.
Yeah. That was the main.
That was basically the main thing. He said some other crazy shit in there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, just to rattle it off, he said some stupid shit about gay pride and being sinful, and Pride Month being a month of sin, which was stupid. What else did he mention? He mentioned
anti-Semitism stuff.
Did he?
I thought he was anti-Semitic a little bit.
Maybe. I didn't hear anything about that, so I won't speak to it.
The full speech is probably a lot.
There was a lot, like, because even in this clip that we could have watched, it was like only a few things, and other places I heard even more. Like, there's so much. He talked about, Biden, which whatever. I've criticized Biden too, so who gives a shit? But it was, the main point of it was like, it was very off
key for a commencement speech. However,
it was a Catholic college.
Correct.
So
he was raised Catholic, and I guess he's
Catholic.
kind of like a found again Catholic. It sounds like.
Interesting.
I
didn't know that.
Some sources have reported that he didn't really associate with it, and then got back into it once he got a wife and all that.
Interesting, because he like Gavin said, the main context of the speech, the main point around it was that, more or less saying women, as a woman, you should be more excited about having kids and starting a family than your career
or finding a job.
And again, I don't think he ever said it specifically, but he did say, I think my wife would tell you that her life started when she got married and had children.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then he also said, although she didn't get to pursue the career she wanted to because she had kids, she would tell you that she's more happy about that than the job she would have been in. And it's like, she would have said, you're telling me what she would have said.
Really? Wow.
So it's like, it is like,
it's
even
more
for
like traditional family values, quote unquote.
Which is now a big thing.
Which is, or that ever went away.
Yeah. Or like you said, ever went away. It's just like, well, just because people aren't talking about it doesn't mean it's not a thing.
Right.
And to one thing you said that I really wanted to push back on is that so many people do this, and it's very much, it's really I thought it was just a thing in right-wing media, but the people who watch right-wing media are just regurgitating what they're hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what he did. And it's the point of him saying, he literally said to the men, this was his message to the men, because the woman was don't use your degree, become a wife. To the men, he was he literally said, don't hide your masculinity. The most important thing you can do is to be masculine. And he was in a world that doesn't want you to be masculine.
Yeah.
And it's Where are
Who
you guys
is-
seeing that you can't be masculine? You heard a right-wing media person say that, so you think that that's happening. And that happens all the time. It's like you hear something, you hear one person do one thing and you're like, that's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then same thing goes for, I also feel like that was also kind of like a quote unquote shots fired at newly drafted Bears quarterback Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
who is famously like not masculine.
yeah. And that's yeah. It's like, and the NFL even put a statement out
Yeah.
being like, this is his thing. We don't,
And there were people online
Agree
that
with
were
it.
saying that the Kaepernick thing was is hypocritical of the NFL to say that, because Kaepernick thing was a little bit
Yeah.
different. But a lot of people in the comments have also pushed back and been like, well, Kaepernick was dressed up in uniform and he was doing it on company time, theoretically.
Yeah, sure. I mean, looking back at that now, it wasn't wrong what he did.
No,
it was
absolutely
just groundbreaking for the time, and that's
Yeah.
why they were like, "Well, we got to do something about it."
Yeah. But like that's what a lot of pushback on the internet is right now. It's just that like, well, he was dressed up in uniform and like supposed to be playing, and he just like was making it about him or whatever.
Yeah, and to an extent, I don't agree with how they handled the Kaepernick situation at all, but they are right in the fact that, like, as a lot of people are saying to the Chiefs, you need to let go of Harrison Buttlicker.
Yeah.
Like, they're calling for that. And listen, if they did, I would be in support of it.
Yeah.
But like, you guys don't understand how many of these motherfuckers probably agree with him, if not even say worse shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But it's the fact that he went out there and did that, and the people on the right are like, I'm glad he said it.
Someone's got to say it.
Someone's got to say it. But it's you have to take the consequences for what you said,
Right.
and I think even what he said went beyond just being right-wing Catholic Republican.
No, that
He
was
said
just like
even worse shit.
That was basically like borderline, just like sexism, misogyny.
Yeah, and he's like saying
Not borderline. It was.
what he was saying. Like, I watched it just in the context of him doing a speech, and then I was like, wait, I have to remind myself this is just a commencement speech.
Yeah.
Well, he was literally saying stuff that, like, he was specifically trying to get a rise out of people. He wasn't saying anything to the grads. He was saying stuff because it was like political, and he was like, now's my time to shine.
Yeah.
They finally asked the kicker to fucking speak because nobody gives a shit about him. So I'm going to use it to the best of my abilities and make it not about anything besides right-wing talking points.
Right. So
it was just it is just fucking stupid. But like, was I surprised by it? No. It was a Catholic school. Of course he's going to say some shit. But like, it was stupid shit.
The other side of the coin here is that there's people like him, or let me put it this way. There's people that on the internet that criticize NFL players for having stupid hobbies like building Legos or having a podcast. Right. And then you also have the other side of the coin where people are gambling, drinking, and driving, killing people.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it's just kind of like, oh shit, that's kind of fucked up. And then they're like, dude, you play with Legos?
Right.
You play with Legos?
Right.
Really? Are you fucking serious?
It's because they don't want you to be masculine anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't want you to be masculine. This is what I've heard.
And they're like, there was someone that was like, as a Chiefs fan, I'm glad to see that Miles Turner has a normal hobby, and it was just building Legos.
Building Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miles Turner is a center for the NBA, so it doesn't really connect that well, but
still, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I get the connection there. Yeah. And I mean, and just calling back to not being surprised by this, hardcore Christian views suck. I know it. I've been through it.
Right.
I know what they're like. And that's why I wasn't shocked by this. And I was like, well, that's to be expected. Doesn't mean it's not horrible and disgusting, but it's like,
that's just what it is.
a lot of people have these views.
Yeah, still, yeah.
So,
That's what I like told my friends. I'm like, it's not really that surprising that someone would say this in 2024.
no, not at all.
Like after seeing all the shit that has been permeating and all the crazy paranoia and just conspiracy theory bullshit stuff going on, not surprising at all that something like this would be said at a Catholic college where, I mean, it's almost like you would expect to see this at a Mormon college. Like, not to speak for Mormons or anything like that, but Mormons are more of the conservative value type people that have that more like women are the house builders, and
I mean, Catholic's pretty bad.
Catholicism is pretty bad, and they have some pretty weird shit going on there. I mean, they still do Latin stuff, right? Am I crazy for saying that?
Yeah, I mean,
They'll still do Latin.
Yeah, they'll do Latin. Some
Some Catholic churches do, but
Traditional ones do.
yeah,
The real crazy ones.
the real nut job ones. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those. It's just still kind of shocking to hear someone who is in the public eye all the time to say that so confidently and without hesitation. And the other thing is that a lot of people were like, how did the speech get approved? And I saw someone on TikTok who like writes speeches and is like a linguist, is like, obviously this person, like Harrison Buttlicker, got it approved. Like this was seen by the chancellor. This was seen by a board of trustees. This was seen by everybody, and they agreed and put their stamp of approval on it.
Yeah, which is again not surprising.
So, it happened, and I think I don't think it did like any bad. I think it was more just like bringing awareness to those values and just being like, oh shit, like
right,
that the autonomy that women have nowadays is completely different to the way it was in 1950, even.
Yeah.
Less than 100 years ago.
Let's listen to some of this Vedder. So this was Eddie Vedder brought this up on stage at a Pearl Jam concert. Lead singer of Pearl Jam, if you don't know. Yeah, Harrison Buttlicker. Let's see what he had to say.
Was that this football player, kicker,
I didn't see this.
you see the kicker
my first time
because he
listening.
doesn't have the pads because he doesn't tap anybody or get tapped. But he was telling men to don't forget to puff up your chests and be more masculine. Don't lose your masculinity. The irony was that when he was saying that, he looked like such a pussy. There's nothing more masculine than a strong man supporting a strong woman. The irony.
Yeah.
That's a feminist right there.
Oh yeah, big time. No, he's a.
I
he's
love
a good
my
guy.
wife here.
Here, he's a pussy. Going to kick
You're
the ball
gonna
here.
He doesn't even wear pads. Hell yeah.
Here. But yeah, so that was just like, because there were so many, like, the one thing I fucking hate whenever one thing happens is that like news articles are so quick to be like, Drake responds to what Harrison, but like a random celebrity, and it's like I don't care about any of them, but it was just funny that it was Eddie Vedder, because he wasn't doing it to like get people to post about it. He was doing it because he's like, oh, I saw this and that's fucked.
Yeah, kind of odd.
It just like came off his dome.
Yeah. He's like, I have a pause of music. Everybody's getting a break. I'm gonna say something real quick.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to watch that. Not that I give a shit about what anybody thinks about it, but it's fun to see when somebody like that says something.
Of course.
Little techno world.
Yeah, just a little quick one. Do I have it still? I have to open up. Where the fuck is QuickTime?
Okay.
I have to open up GarageBand.
That's where I've got it.
Hey, yeah, I've got it on QuickTime. GarageBand.
So
that's the outro.
Well, Gavin gets that pulled up. Next week is next Sunday. So a week from this Sunday, June 2nd is my birthday. And next week we're hopefully, I'm just saying this now, if it doesn't happen, not like anybody's going to give a shit. We should be having a little four-way. We're going to have a little four-way live on our Patreon. No, we're going to have, hopefully, more than likely, have Gavin's brother and our good friend Spencer, who's been on multiple times, on the show for, I'm going to say it, what might be the last it might be the last, it probably will be the last four-boy in-person podcast for a long time.
Yeah, who knows
how long. For reasons we'll talk more about, but also because you boys gonna be hopefully moving soon. It's perfect timing.
Hear that fade out? Yeah. So there was a bug in iOS 17.5. I think betas. As far as I know, it wasn't occurring.
Fucking betas.
I don't think it was occurring on actual release candidate.
Oh, really?
For software, but it was happening in the beta.
Okay.
And people started to realize that like maybe some old stuff was getting undeleted. So this is from The Verge. iPhone owners say the latest iOS update is resurfacing deleted news. iOS beta testers have also complained that old pictures returned. Apple appears to have a bug that's dredging up data that iPhone users thought was gone. Some iPhone owners are reporting that after updating their phones to iOS 17.5, their deleted photos, some quite old, are popping up again, according to a Reddit thread that Mac Rumors spotted. iOS beta testers had the same complaints about the bug last week. So I guess it did eventually reach the general public. People reporting the apparent bug say that they're seeing old photos appear in their recent album after Monday's update. iOS does give users the option to restore deleted photos, but after 30 days, they're supposed to be permanently removed. The person who started the thread claimed that not safe for work photos they had deleted years ago were back on their phone. Another Reddit user said that they saw photos from 2016 show up as new images, but that they didn't think they ever deleted them. And a person claimed that in a later post that around 300 of their old photos, some of which were revealing, appeared on an iPad they'd wiped per Apple's guidelines and sold to a friend.
Oh, no.
This could be more innocent than it sounds. Computer data is never actually deleted until it's overwritten with new ones and O's. Operating systems simply cut off references to it. One user also said they saw a photo returned even though they don't sync their iPhone or use iCloud, implying that the photos could be originating from on-device storage. Apple didn't immediately reply to The Verge's request for comment. I guess also voicemails had reappeared too.
What the fuck?
So this guy had like 26 missed calls or whatever. There is a chance that it's not specific to photos either, as one person posted on X that they saw old voicemails come back after the update. Several beta testers said the same thing about earlier iOS 17 betas. Whether the issue implies Apple is secretly holding on to deleted data, or it's just a quirk of how iOS 17.5 handles that data, is not an ideal situation. Nobody wants to see their deleted news come back.
So Gavin, I have to ask you, you're on your beta
I
shit
am
usually.
on my beta shit.
Did
usually.
you get the beta?
I do. I mean, I've had the beta since forever.
And
I didn't appear
did those
to find
pictures of us from the Hamptons show up
I don't think so.
back in 2014 when we had that little
I don't think so.
vacation, that little long weekend in the
There was
Hamptons?
some. I will say, I think some stuff started to show up from years. Like there is literally like freshman year photos that came up in my recents from
Oh,
messages.
really?
From messages.
Oh, okay.
Like mom had sent from 10 years ago, almost 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And that had shown up. And I thought I had deleted them deleted them to make space for stuff. So it's possible that they just, re-up those and just brought them back from, deletion.
What if the bug was only specifically targeted nudes somehow?
That'd be even weirder. I will say that's true. I think that some of the stuff I deleted did come back.
Okay.
Because there's definitely some photos I deleted that should not have seen the light of day after.
Yeah.
Not safe for work, but just
just like things that you're like,
nah.
I'm pretty sure I would have
Yeah,
deleted that.
pretty sure I deleted that.
You know what's funny is that I went and checked my images and I'm like, I don't even think my phone is updated at all.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
why am I checking this?
I
So
know
I'm
you're
good.
always,
I don't even know
a good chunk behind some stuff.
I couldn't. Let's find out what iOS I'm on right
If
now.
you go to settings, about, and it tells you.
I won't even know what it means. I go to my name.
Settings, general, about,
General,
and then it says name, iOS version.
about. Do you want to take a guess? What's the newest one?
17.5.1.
Okay, I got 17.4.1.
Okay, yeah. So
It's
you
not that
you
far,
never
right?
had the bug, and you won't ever get the bug because they released a bug fix
Right.
like a week later.
Yeah,
So like on Monday they released a new bug fix. So
I gotta fix the bugs.
so if you don't want your news to be around, I guess you have to go back through and delete them because I have the beta and they're still there. So
The nudes are still there.
yeah,
Yeah, it specifically targets nudes. You guys got to be careful.
Yeah.
Get rid of that granny porn.
yeah. Granny gum jobs.
You have saved for some
Yeah.
reason.
But then
like same day, I think that this
basically,
was
yeah.
talked-
I think it was
talked about.
exactly the same day. It was like last Wednesday.
Thursday.
Last Thursday. Yeah, for sure. Last Thursday. No, it was last Thursday.
It was last
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
I took a good note of that. I was like, it's Thursday. because I had just started taking care of the dogs or the dog and the cats. I was texting my friends and I noticed that they were sending us text messages so I thought that like they had blocked me or like as a joke, just like, fucking with me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to know whether or not like what's going on because like I have stuff that I need to send. So anyway, this is from Mac Rumors. They said that iMessage down for some users, update service restored. There are numerous reports about the issue on social networks and a spike of outage reports on Down Detector, but Apple's system status page is not yet reporting an outage. This was as of
because
last
I looked
Thursday.
that up too.
Did not, no one was looking at it. Apple's status page says that iMessage service was restored with the outage lasting approximately 45 minutes from 2:49 to 3:35 p.m. Pacific time. Apple says FaceTime, HomeKit, and Apple Messages for Business were also affected.
Yeah, so I had the same thing because that Thursday is usually when we are live with office hours.
Right.
And dude, like that was 2 weeks in a row that some stupid shit had fucked up. The week before, YouTube's uploading was down for like hours. So we couldn't get the episode out until like 9 p.m. because it was down for hours. Like, what the fuck? And then that week, I'm like trying to text Matt about stuff to get stuff posted. And I'm like, why are my texts not sending?
Yeah.
And I get really pissed when that kind of shit fucks up.
Yeah.
Like other shit, I'm like, whatever. But like stuff like that, when I'm like trying to do something and it's not working.
No, exactly. That's exactly what happened. I was like,
mad.
I like texted in a group message and individually to each one of them. I'm like, I'm on my way.
Yep.
And none of them could
of them
reply.
sent.
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then like, my friend like was trying to figure out some training stuff for the VA that's coming up in a year for me. And he was like, he asked me like who he should contact, and I emailed, sent it to him, and it never sent. And I was like, dude, if he doesn't get this, he's not going to be able to rotate on that rotation at all.
So yeah, it was fucked. It was out for a while, and then I think I went down for another time for just a short amount of time.
Yeah, it was back up for like a couple minutes, and then it went back down, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
I'm like, they're never gonna know where I'm coming from.
Right. And I like, for me, it's like literally
business.
Work. It's business.
It's work.
Like I'm trying to fucking do work and I can't because of this shit. So I don't know. It's annoying. I feel like such an old man when I get mad about technology.
Well, I think maybe it was just one of those like it happens every once in a while. This is probably the first time it happened in probably like 10 years probably.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't happen often.
But it can.
Yeah.
As with anything else.
I thought it was a different issue because I had this issue for a while where my messages on my computer weren't synced up with my phone, and I had to go through this whole roundabout way to get it back up. So I thought that was happening, and I was like, why is this happening in the middle of this? And then I went on my phone and my texts weren't sending, and I was like, okay, something bad is going on.
And you texted me like, is this working?
Yeah, because anytime my texts aren't working, I text Gavin because like he's the only person that I can text something random to. Yeah, and there won't be a weird reasoning. You know what I mean? Like you won't be like, why are you texting me? You're just like, we know what's going on.
It's whatever. Yeah. So,
but anyways. This is the technology. That's what a computer sounds like.
Yeah, it does.
In case you guys didn't know. Real quick, final segment of the day we do every week called What You Listening To, where we recommend a song, album, or artist to each other, to Crazy Steve, and to the audience for you at home to listen to. Gavin, what are you listening to this week?
I don't even know the name of the album, to be honest with you. Whoops. But it's Cage Elephant's new album.
Yeah,
they just released it. And I think it's a way better album than their last one.
Oh, good.
But I don't know why it wouldn't show up as the first thing if I'm putting Cage. Neon Pill, that's what I thought it was. And I would say it's like a safer option, but it's way less like I described it as less off the wall as their last album. It's a much calmer, kind of sensible album.
Yeah.
And he definitely touches on some more like deeper subject matters and more of like just dealing with love and all that stuff like that. And I think and just accepting like the modern technological age and all that stuff like that. It's a really good album, and there's a couple really good slower songs on there that you hadn't heard about or hadn't heard in a minute because they hadn't released an album in a few years. So at least a couple. Their last album was 2019, so it's been 5 years
Damn.
since they last released one. So
Yeah.
really glad that this is a really good return. My favorite album of theirs is still on Tell Me I'm Pretty. I think it just hit a perfect note for me at the time. But yeah, Neon Pill is a really good album, and I'd say I'd give it like a 7.
Nice.
Much better. And I also Pharmacist also agreed with me that the Childish Gambino album was really bad,
Yeah.
save for one song.
Haven't heard anybody talking about it.
Nope. Exactly. That
Still.
was the whole thing. And like he said, a friend had hit him up and was like, "Hey, this album released, you know, blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, dude, I'll check it out for sure." And he like listened to it on his way in. And he's like, "What the fuck is this?" So wasn't the only one that experienced that kind of like, "Huh, this is very very bad."
I didn't even touch it. I
No,
was
yeah,
like,
good.
I'm
It was really bad.
not even gonna try.
What are you listening to this week?
This album came out last week as well, the same week as the Knocked Loose album, and I liked it more, so I almost recommended it last week, but I was like, no, I should talk about Knocked Loose. And that is this smaller band. I don't even know where they're from, but they're like a metalcore band called Dealer. They're very like kind of electronic based in a way. And the album's called New Order of Mind, just came out, and it's really good. I like when I first started listening to hardcore metalcore, Dealer came up like as a recommended thing, and I thought it was cool, but like it wasn't really my thing. It was like a little too overproduced sounding to me in a way, and I've kind of come to appreciate that kind of stuff a little bit more. But this album doesn't feel as crazy as some of those were. And it's just really good. And honestly, like, they're a really heavy band, but they have a few songs on here that are like almost kind of, I don't even know how to really describe it. More like, I don't know. I don't want to say like pop punk, but like more melodic than screaming. Like there's like, they have some screaming loud, scary songs, but then they have like some more melodic kind of emo-y-ish songs that are really cool. Yeah. So it's a cool album. I really like it. I've been listening to it a lot. My favorite song on it is Almost Human. It's the last song on the album. Super cool. I also really like the self-titled song, New Order of Mind. Super good. It's a good heavy song. It's cool. Artwork's really cool for it. I don't really know. It's like a Ring Around the Rosie type situation.
Oh, that's cool. Like paganism thing.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. I don't know why this band isn't bigger. They only have like 4,000 monthly listeners on YouTube Music, mind you. I feel like they're one of those bands that's like really big in like a foreign country. Like I said, I don't even know where they're from, but that's just my vibe.
I wish there was like an aggregate number that you could pull that like was very accurate.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know too many people who talk about them or listen to them. But really cool band, really cool album. That's what I'm listening to. Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Fun little shorter episode.
Yeah, we're
not that much short, but
right as where we've been the last few weeks.
Yeah,
we got a lot of stuff to say, man. This is really loud for some reason in my ear.
Wrong one.
That was the wrong one.
There you go.
And we're just chilling, enjoying the summer as best as we can.
Next week should be fun. Like I said, more than likely we'll have a 4-way going on, which should be fun. Just because it's just like 2 more Gavin and I's.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, truly.
Talking and joking, and it was fun. We've only done it once, so this is only the second time we've had a 4-way live.
Twice.
We did it twice?
Before Chicago, in Chicago.
Oh, damn it. I keep forgetting about Chicago.
Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man.
God is dead.